So let us try to draw the diagram for the fifth question. So drawing the diagram for the from the conditions given in the question is very, very important. So we are in question 5. So a kite is flying at a height of 60 meters above the ground. So let me try to draw the diagram. So let me imagine this as the kite, and the kite is flying at a height of 60 meters from the ground. So when they say 60 meters, they are talking about the straight vertical height. So this will be 60 meters. The height of this will be 60 above the ground. So I'm also trying to draw the ground as well, like this. So a kite is flying at a height of 60 meters above the ground. The kite is flying from the ground at a straight vertical height of 60 meters. The string attached to the kite. So the string means basically the blue color one. Okay, this one. So the string that is attached to the kite, okay, is temporarily tied to a point on the ground. So the string is tied to a point on the ground, and the inclination of the string with the ground. When I say inclination, they mean the angle that is made between the string and the ground is 60 degrees. This is also given in the question. Find the length of the string. So this is the string. We are supposed to find the length of the string, assuming that there is no slack in the string. Sorry. So slack means there is no bending or something. So let's imagine that the rope is taut, in the sense it's quite strong without any fluctuations. That's what they mean by there is no slack in the string. There is no slack means there is no bending. So which means we assume it as a straight line. So this is the question. So basically they have given a kite which is flying at a vertical height of 60 meters. And there is a string which has been coded as blue color in the diagram, and it is tied to a point on the ground. Let us imagine, or let us assume the point as P, and let the point at which the kite is flying be A, and this point be B. So we know this is right angle. And in the question, we have been asked to find the length of the string, which means we are supposed to find the hypotenuse in this situation, because this is the string, which is quite tight. So we are supposed to find the hypotenuse. For 60 degree, this is the opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse. So we know that opposite by hypotenuse is nothing but sine theta. So we apply the concept of sine 60 in order to get the answer. So when I apply sine 60 degree, I get opposite side is 60, and hypotenuse we don't know, that is nothing but AP. And we know that sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Now this becomes AP into root 3 is equal to 120. 2 goes here, becomes 120. Likewise, AP goes to the right side, becomes AP root 3. Now we get AP is equal to 120 divided by root 3. So we take the conjugate because the denominator should not be the irrational form. So you get 120 root 3 divided by 3. In the denominator, root 3 into root 3 becomes 3. So then this gets cancelled, you get 40. So the final answer is the length of the string is 40 root 3 meters. That is the final answer. So this is something that's very important. Now let us try to draw the diagram for question number 6. So they have given a 1.5 meter tall boy is standing at some distance from a 30 meter tall building. So this basically means there is a building. Let me draw like this. So this is the 30 meter tall building. This is the height of the building. And there is another person, there is a boy whose height is around 1.5 meters. Somewhat like this. So this height is 1.5 meters. So this is the boy. Whatever I have drawn in the, let's say that is the boy. Maybe I can name it as AB. So AB is the boy and CD is the building. So the height of the boy is 1.5 meters and he's standing at some distance from a 30 meter tall building. The angle of elevation from his eyes. So basically, his eyes will be positioned somewhat here at A. Okay. To the top of the building increases from 30 degree to 60 degree as he walks towards the building. So what they're trying to say here is, let us draw the floor. Like let me draw the ground. So this is the ground. Let us imagine AB to be the boy and let us imagine CD to be the building. Height of the boy is given as 1.5 meters and height of the building is given as 30 meters. So now what happens is the angle of elevation of this boy currently it is around 30 degree. So this is the angle. So this is 30 degree. Now, as the boy is approaching the building, so basically the boy is walking towards the building. So the more closer he goes to the building, so this is the second position of the boy. Let me draw like this. So this is the second position of the boy after walking some distance. Then the angle of elevation increases to 60 degree. Now the angle of elevation is 60 degree. And this is the next position of the boy. Maybe I can name it as EF. EF is the second position of the boy. I repeat, if you look at the diagram now, you can very clearly see there is a boy who has been represented as AB and whose height is 1.5 meter. And there is a building in front of this boy, which is CD, which is 30 meters. So this boy is looking at the top of the building, like the terrace of the building. He is looking at the top of the building. The angle of elevation is 30 degree. Now, when I say angle of elevation, it is from his straight line, how much he has increased his line of sight. So that is why we are drawing this horizontal. This horizontal is very important. So from the straight line of vision, how much he has increased his vision, how much he has increased his line of sight, that is 30 degree. When he is standing at AB. So the boy soon he actually gets into a point where he is reaching this second position, which is called as this position. Okay, so now he is reaching this position, which I'm marking it as EF. After walking some distance, so basically the boy is moving towards the building. After some time, we understand that the angle of elevation is 60 degrees. So this is something that you need to know. And what we are supposed to find is the distance he walked towards the building. Basically, BF is what we are supposed to find. So this is what is given in the question. So one thing that we have to understand here is the triangles that we'll be choosing are kind of above the eyes of this boy who is standing. So what we have to do, so when I take this triangle, so basically let us assume this triangle first. Let us assume this triangle and let me mark this point as G. Now, first of all, we need to understand that this side, that is CG, is not 30. CD fully it is 30, whereas CG is nothing but the whole height of the building, which is 30, minus height of the boy. This height has to be subtracted. That is very, very important because the target triangle that we are taking, that is CDE, it is located at the top of this line of sight of the boy. So basically, when we are considering triangle CGE, we are going to consider only this height till here, till G. So out of the whole 30, we are going to subtract the height of the boy. You can see height of the boy is 1.5. The same thing will come here also. So we are going to subtract that height and first equate CG to 28.5. So how do I write it? So CG is nothing but CD minus GD. So now CD totally it is 30 minus GD it is 1.5. So you get it as 28.5. So this needs to be done in the beginning. You can't take the opposite side as 30 because 30 is the overall height of the building from which we have to subtract the height of the boy. So in the previous questions that we discussed, the point of observation was just a person, just a point. It was not a person. It was not shown as a height, but here it has been shown as a height, which means that of the total height 30, we have to subtract this value GD, which is 1.5 carried over in order to get the value of CG. So that will give you the value of CG because that is the triangle we are targeting. So this is very, very important. So once we have got the value of CG as 28.5, now we can target the triangle, which is, we can target in triangle CGE. So we are going to target this triangle. So we are writing this just to include some clarity to the solution part. So CG, basically the triangle which I have shaded. So in the triangle, so we are going to apply sine. sine 60 degree. I'm sorry, we are going to apply tan 60 because the hypotenuse is not needed. We need only the opposite and the adjacent side. So when I apply tan 60, just look at the shaded triangle CGE. For 60 degree, this is the opposite, which is 28.5. And for 60 degree, this is the adjacent, which let me take it as X. So for tan 60, the opposite will be 28.5 and the adjacent will be X. And value of tan 60 is root 3. Now X becomes 28.5 divided by root 3. So this is very important. So what's happening here is, this is 28.5 and this is root 3. So X has gone here, root 3 has come here. X has gone to the right side to become multiplication, root 3 has come to the left side to become division. So you get like this. Now the denominator should not be irrational, so therefore you take the conjugate, which is into root 3 into root 3. So you get the value of X as 28.5 root 3 divided by 3. And now when you cancel this, you get 9.5. So the value of X is 9.5 root 3. But this is not the answer. This is used to get the answer. So I have assumed it as X and I've got the value of X as 9.5 root 3. Now having gotten the value of EG as 9.5 root 3, that is the value of X as 9.5 root 3, I have substituted it in the diagram. So now the diagram is clear. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take the other triangle. So what I mean by this is the triangle which I'm going to shade using red color now. You can see this. So I'm going to concentrate on this triangle because we haven't still got the answer. The answer is, suppose we are supposed to find BF. The distance between BF is what we are supposed to find. So let's see how this can be done. So I'm erasing off the steps in the right side. And let us try to now do the steps for triangle CAG. In triangle CAG is what we are going to do. So when you consider a triangle CAG, what we are doing here is, again we are going to apply tan 30. This time, the opposite side of 30 degrees again 28.5. But the adjacent will be the whole of this, which is, we don't know the value of BF, we'll assume it as Y. Plus, we have already found the answer 9.5 root 3. The remaining distance is 9.5 root 3 is equal to 1 by root 3. So this is something that we need to know. I repeat, if you look at the red color diagram, red color triangle in the diagram, it's very clear that the opposite side to 30 degrees 28.5 and the adjacent side means the full of this, which is actually Y plus 9.5 root 3. This 9.5 root 3 is what we found in the previous step. And this is what we are supposed to find in the question as a whole, which we've assumed it as Y. Now the value of tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Now you can't cancel this root 3 and root 3 because it is associated with Y. So what happens in the next step is, this 28.5 is there and root 3 comes to the left side and Y plus 9.5 root 3. This goes to the right side. It's like cross multiplication. So the next step you will get Y equals 28.5 root 3 minus 9.5 root 3. This 9.5 root 3 comes to the left side to become negative. So this is what we are getting. So finally, so when we subtract these two, we are getting 19 root 3 meters. So this is the answer. So we write it as the distance that the boy walked towards the building is 19 root 3 meters. Now let us look at 7th question. From a point on the ground. So first let us draw the ground. We'll imagine this is the ground. So from a point on the ground, let us imagine a point also. So let this be the point. Let P be the point on the ground. So 7th question goes like this. From a point on the ground, the angles of elevation of bottom and top of a transmission tower fixed at the top of a 20-meter high building. So what do they mean by this is, there is a building and there is a tower which is fixed above this building, somewhat like this. So this is the tower. So the tower is fixed on top of the building. So we need to understand this. So logically speaking, you cannot build a building above a tower. That is one way of looking at it. And also the sentence is very clear. Forget about the angle of elevation, all of that. But what they have given is transmission tower fixed at the top of a 20-meter high building. First, let us concentrate in this sentence. So there is a tower which is fixed at the top of a 20-meter high building. So whatever I have drawn in the bottom part, that is this 20 meters, this is the building, and whatever is there above that, that is the tower. And we are supposed to find the height of the tower. Let me assume the height of the tower as h, and that is what we are supposed to find. If you look at the third line, that is what we are going to find. What other information they have given apart from this? So first clarity that you need to have is the tower is on top of the building. Now, what else is given in the question? The angle of elevation of the bottom and the top, which means that bottom and top of the transmission tower. So what do we mean by that? Let me mark the tower as AB and the building as BC. Now, what they are trying to say by bottom of the transmission tower is this point. When they say bottom of the transmission tower, they are trying to mean this point, B. That is what they are trying to tell us, B. And when they say top of the transmission tower, they are trying to mean A. So bottom of the transmission tower is also the top of the building. It is the same point B. They can either mention it as bottom of transmission tower or top of the building. So A is the top of the transmission tower. Now, it has been very clearly given in the first line that the angle of elevation of bottom. So the first angle they are trying to talk about is the bottom, which is B. So that angle is 45 degrees. First, they have mentioned about bottom, that angle is 45 degrees. So let us try to mark it as 45. Now, bottom and top. Now, the angle of elevation of top of the tower is 60 degrees, since it comes the next, secondly. That is what is the meaning of respectively, right? So, top is 60 degrees. So, from here, from the same point of observation, the observer is not at all moving. So, that is 60 degrees. Now, it is a blunder if you mark like this. This cannot be 60 degrees. When they say 60 degree, it means from here it is 60 degree. The whole angle is 60 degree, and this is the diagram, and we are supposed to find the value of h. So let us try to concentrate in triangle PBC first. So when I target this triangle PBC, from the diagram you can see where PBC is, and I'm going to apply tan 45. Why? Because I don't need anything about the hypotenuse. My only target is opposite and adjacent. So that's why I'm using tan 45. Why not other trigonometric ratios? That question you should sit with. So now tan 45, opposite is BC, which is 20, and adjacent is PC. Opposite is BC, which is 20 meters. That's been given in the question. And adjacent is PC, and the value of tan 45 is 1. Now PC goes to the right side, and we get PC equals 20 meters. So as soon as you get this value, I'm going to update it in the diagram. So as you all can see, I'm going to update this value in the diagram as 20 meters. Now I have got this value of PC as 20 meters, but that is not what we have been asked to find. So we are going to go with the larger triangle now. So once we are done with this smaller triangle, we are going to go with the larger triangle. So now this small triangle is done. Let us go to the larger triangle. This triangle we are going to concentrate. I have written the solution part in the right side of the screen. So in triangle PAC, now PAC is the target. If you look at PAC, I'm going to apply tan 60 degree, which is nothing but opposite. When I say opposite to 60 degree, I mean the whole of this, because we are targeting the whole triangle. So now the whole height will be h plus 20 because opposite is the top portion, the transmission tower's height is h and the building's height is 20. So it is fully, so h plus 20. Be careful not to write it as 20h, then it becomes multiplication. Now adjacent is 20. How did we get this 20? This we got from the previous step. That's how we got this 20. PC. PC is the adjacent side. And then we get equal to root 3 because root 3 is the value of tan 60. Now the next step we get h plus 20 is equal to 20 root 3. Now you get h equals 20 root 3 minus 20. And you get h equals 20 can be taken as common out. You get root 3 minus 1. So this is the final answer. We need not do anything after this. If they have given the value of root 3, then you substitute and find out. Otherwise, this is the final answer. So this is how we do this. So here, when you look at it, 20 is going to the right side, gets multiplied. And this 20 goes to the right side, gets subtracted. Since it's in the plus in the left side, then you take 20 as common out. So when you take 20 as common, here root 3 remains. When this 20 is taken out, you have nothing. So I am writing 1. That's how you got 20 into root 3 minus 1. So this is the final answer. And you conclude by writing as a statement, that is the height of the transmission tower. So that's how you do it. Let us try to draw the diagram for question number 8. Now, a statue which is 1.6 meter tall stands on the top of a pedestal. So pedestal is something over which there is a statue that is being erected. So we'll imagine this to be the pedestal and something like this to be the statue. So this is the statue. Whatever you see at the top, that is the statue, and whatever is at the bottom, that is the pedestal. It's quite similar to the previous question. Let us imagine this to be ABC. So now let me re-explain. What we have to understand here is BC is the pedestal. So pedestal is basically the block over which a statue is being erected. So AB is the statue. Now, from a point on the ground, again there is a point on ground. Let us imagine that point to be capital P. From a point on the ground, the angle of elevation of top of the statue. So top of the statue means point A. So that angle is given as 60 degree. Very clearly it has been given as 60 degree. And from the same point, that is from P, the angle of elevation of top of pedestal. Pedestal means top of pedestal is also the bottom of the statue. And that is given as 45 degree. It's a very similar question to the previous one, quite the same. So find the height of the pedestal. The statue is given as 1.6 meters and height of the pedestal is what we are supposed to find. So very similar to the previous question. The only difference is in the previous question, we found this height, whatever was at the top and the bottom part was given. Here, the bottom part is being asked and top part is given. So the one at the top, the statue is 1.6 and we are supposed to find the height of the pedestal. So we apply very similar strategy as what we applied in the previous problem to get the answer. So we are following a very similar approach. So first I am taking triangle PPC and I'm applying tan 45 to this triangle. So when I apply tan 45, I'm getting opposite is H and adjacent we do not know. Let us take it as PC itself. And we know this is equal to 1. So tan 45, if you just consider the triangle PBC, that is the triangle which I'm shading now, the smaller one, then the opposite is H and the adjacent is PC, which is equal to 1. This actually means that H is equal to PC. PC goes to the right side, becomes like this. So which means PC has also become H now. So that you can update it in the diagram. So this is also H. We don't know the value of H. We'll eventually get it now. And also now we are going to look at the larger diagram, larger triangle, that is this triangle. As a second step, that is what we are going to do. So what we are doing here is we are going to apply tan 60. So when we apply tan 60, the opposite side is AC, which is 1.6 plus H. The whole of this is the top portion is 1.6, the bottom portion is H, divided by the adjacent side is H. That is what we have equated it in the previous step, which will be equal to root 3. Now h goes to the right side, it becomes root 3h. So you get 1.6 plus h equal to h root 3. Now this h comes to the right side. So initially this h went over there and it became multiplication. Now when you take this h, what you get now is h root 3 minus h. When this h goes there, it becomes negative, is equal to 1.6. So now what you do is you take h as common. When you take h as common, you get root 3 minus 1. In the place of h, you get 1, which is equal to 1.6. Just a minute. So now what you get is h equals 1.6 divided by root 3 minus 1. So this is something that you need to understand. So now we need to do the conjugate step, which is root 3 plus 1 and root 3 plus 1. So why we are taking conjugate is because the denominator has an irrational part. So we are doing root 3 plus 1 in the numerator as well as the denominator. So now this becomes 1.6 into root 3 plus 1 divided by, the denominator looks like a plus b into a minus b. Now this will be a square minus b square. So this becomes 1.6 into root 3 plus 1 divided by root 3 square is 3 and 1 square is 1. So 3 minus 1 will be 2 and it gets cancelled 8 times, but there is a decimal, so we place 0.8. The final answer is 0.8 into root 3 plus 1 meters, and this is the height of the pedestal.